Welcome to the 10-Minute Mind Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Janet Cagle, certified life coach, weight loss coach, and lover of all things related to upleveling my life and yours. My goal is to help you get one step closer to your goal, whatever it is. My goal is not to keep you wrapped up in self-help all day, just 10 minutes. And who doesn't have 10 minutes, right? Welcome back, friends. I am so glad that you are here. This is episode number 103, Brain Edit. This episode kicks off a series of episodes designed to help you create the exact life of your heart's desire and start living by the standard that you decide on so that you can create the best year ever. And listen, this won't be the last best year ever that you create. Next year can be even better than this year. I remember when my daughter was born, and each age that she was, I remember thinking, this is the best age. Each year just got better and better. And just when I thought surely next year won't be near as fun, like maybe the preteens, well, I was wrong. Every age was truly the best age ever. Each day of your life can be like that too. Each week, each month, each year, even when things beyond our control pop up. So if you remember last week, I talked about a Greek philosopher who said, we become what we focus on. And I added, we become who we focus on. So that is the work that we will do on purpose, deliberately, and intentionally. Last week, the work was to decide that, the who, and describe her or him. This week is our first intentional, on purpose, and deliberate focus. And I'm going to do this right along with you. We are on this journey together. So here we go. Week 1, number 1. Be intentional with what your brain is consuming. This week, we're doing a brain edit. It's time to put your editor-in-chief hat on and go to work. In order to be intentional with what your brain is consuming, look for the things that, although they might be entertaining and pass the time and may be easy to indulge in, they do not move you towards the life or the life experiences that your heart desires. Really become aware of what your brain is consuming, both physically and mentally, and then edit. Edit the things you read, the shows you watch, the people you listen to, the thoughts that you entertain on the daily, the food that you feed your brain. Put on your editor-in-chief hat and edit the things that you allow your brain to be filled with, not from a place of self-loathing or judgment, and not from a place of penance or punishment, but do this from a place of deserving more and from a place of desiring the life of your heart's desire. The approach in which you pursue this activity and all activities will determine your outcome and how you experience the journey. So pay attention and don't let your brain bully you into thinking that this is about deprivation or missing out on anything. In fact, this series is designed to expand every area of your life. One of the things that I have already started editing for myself is the entertainment that I consume. The woman that I am becoming does not have time for drama and does not take pleasure in watching women tear each other down, gossip, and focus on stuff versus people. The woman that I'm becoming does not focus on those things in her spare time, and for sure, it does not please her to watch it. One of my guilty pleasures is the Real Housewives franchise, but this year I'm giving it a break. No watching it at all. I have already unsubscribed from anything that has anything to do with the Bravo Real Housewives franchise, anything that would be sucking me into the vortex of consuming their drama. And that goes for Instagram and Hulu. Now, this might not sound like a big deal, but if you know me, you know I'm all about all of the housewives, Beverly Hills, Atlanta, New York, and of course, Vanderpump Rules. It's mindless TV, right? But think about it. Is it? What is my brain picking up that does not serve me? Sure, it's fun to see the outfits and how they live, but it's also normalizing in my brain the way we treat each other, the way we talk about each other, and the way we tear each other down. The woman that I'm becoming is not available for that, and for sure won't support it by consuming it into my brain. I want to give you a little bit of the science behind why being intentional with what your brain consumes is important. Our brains are incredibly complex machines that process millions of bits of data throughout the day. To make sure that the system doesn't get overloaded and crashes, think of a computer. It uses a filter. This filter determines the lens through which we view the world and subsequently live our lives. Millions of pieces of data are conveniently organized for you to make sense of the world while not getting overloaded with excessive data. We have a part in our brain that helps with this filtering process. It's called the reticular activating system. So here's what's so crazy. We create this filter ourselves by telling our brains, whether consciously or subconsciously, what's important to us, what we believe and what we fear and what we're focused on. Over time, through this process, we invite, create, and attract and accomplish exactly what we spend our time and energy focusing on. There isn't a single solitary housewife that I would trade places with or that I want to emulate. So indulging in that kind of entertainment does not light me up. It does not motivate me or inspire me in any way, shape, or form. So it goes edited out. We have to be the boss of our brains and not let our brains be the boss of us. A brain that is not managed will default to what is ever easy and familiar, even if it's bad for us. My brain's familiar is arguing, gossiping, tearing others down. Even though we were raised in a very religious environment, my brain picked up on how grown-ups talk about other grown-ups and picked up on the drama of everyday life as it being important and how you do things as a grown-up, even if it doesn't feel good. So it really does make sense to me that my brain, left unsupervised, seeks that out, not because it's good for me or that it feels good, but because it's familiar. So what am I replacing it with? Well, the woman that I want to be on purpose a year from now is one that has a long drapey leg and an independent seat. So I'm going to become a student of all of the great dressage riders. I want to study the rides that I want to emulate. I want to study the riders that I want to emulate. I will study and visualize my own leg growing in length and strength. Now, that all sounds dreamy, but here's what has already happened. My brain recognizes that this will require a little rewiring. Well, maybe a lot of rewiring. So it says, oh, just have it on in the background, for noise. Who's going to care if you just watch a few shows here and there? What's the point? It doesn't really matter, does it? My answer is yes. When you make a decision like this to edit your life for the benefit of your future self, your current self, and even your past self may show up feeling a little jilted. And you might feel the pull of the current self-image and the old self-image, but just know who you are dealing with and what you are dealing with. An old filter. That's it. It's up to you to create a new filter by which to see your life and then create your life. That old filter will only create more of the same. Rewiring the brain requires a little discomfort, and your brain does not like that at all. It wants familiar, even if it's crappy. I want you to really think about that. So one of my edits that I already started this week and continues for all year, and listen, if next year I feel differently about it, I can decide differently, and you can too. But in the meantime, this is a great way to demonstrate keeping a promise to yourself, deciding and then having your own back. And just know ahead of time that you are a party of three, and the other two might not be as excited about your decisions as your future self is, and that's totally fine. So this week is to be intentional with what you let your brain consume. Really take inventory and decide if that thing is for your highest and best good, and if not, edit. Then think about what you can add that would actually support the life that you want to create and the experiences that you want to experience. Do that. All right, that is what I have for you this week. And now, go have the best day ever. That's a wrap. I hope that you were able to experience a mind shift of your own today. Listen, if you love this podcast, you should totally check out my Life by Design 6-week boot camp. It's a work at your own pace workshop and something that you can do over and over and over again to uplevel your results and get ready for a transformation at the speed of life.